Is the PPT visible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So yesterday we have seen in brief, we have seen the introduction to networks. Okay, and we've seen what is a network, computer network. So we'll start with the module 1, in which we will have the introduction for computer networks. We will see various network topologies. We will see different types of network. Then we will see network architecture. Now in network architecture, we have a layered architecture. So we will see two different types of architectures. One is ISO OSI reference model, and another one is a TCP/IP reference model. And then we'll compare both. PPT is visible properly, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Yeah. So first is the definition. What is a computer network? A system combining any combination of computers, computer terminals, printers, audio or visual display devices, or telephones interconnected by telecommunication equipment or cables. And they are used to transmit or receive information. So basically, when you talk about computer, yesterday we have seen it is a communication network. Communication network can have number of end devices, number of intermediate devices. But we will restrict ourselves, or this particular syllabus restricts to computer network. Okay, so we will see the communication between two computers or two computer terminals. So they can be like computer like things which you are going to communicate. Now you can have number of just like you have number of input devices and number of output devices. Now you know what do you mean by input device. Input device, you will be having a input from like various you can have a mouse, you can have keyboard, or you can have a laptop, you can have a tab, you can have like number of devices, end devices will be there. And you can have some shared devices also, like you have printers, you have plotters, you can have some audio visual display devices. Okay, or you can have your phones which are connected using a telecommunication equipment or cable. Telecommunication equipment can be number of interconnecting devices. Later on you will be learning what are different kind of interconnecting devices also. Okay, and they are basically we are using, why we are connecting it. The aim is to transmit the information and to receive the information. Okay, so basically you will be talking about a transmitter, a communication channel, and a receiver. Between transmitter and receiver you have a communication channel. Okay, and you will have a transmitter and receiver which we call as, say for example, nodes. So these two nodes will be connected together through some kind of channel. So you call it as a telecommunication equipment, or you call it as a communication channel. So entire this thing, like this is a computer network, so you will be studying entire or everything about this network. So say for example, this is a network diagram. Now when you call about a network, computer network, you have to talk about a wired network and a wireless network. Right now we are using wireless also, that effectively. Okay, so this diagram visible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you have a wired network where you have various cables which are connecting. We will see later on different type of cables. That is, when we will study the physical layer chapter, you will study different mediums through which different type of cables or different mediums through which you can connect these different end devices. So you can have a printer, you can have number of PCs which are connected. Okay, you can have different kind of end devices. They can be connected through wired network or wireless network. Be connected through fiber optic. They can be connected through. Uh, uh, there are various twisted pair cables. You have uh,
Coax cable.
coax cables. There are different kind of cables. Okay, you can have. There is a firewall. There is a router. There are other local area networks which are connected. Okay, so you have a different networks connected together. Say for example, one lab network, second lab network, third lab network, and they all are connected to a central uh, place where you have a server. Okay, so from the server you can have number of LANs which are connected, something like that. So you have a concept of internet. Okay, we will see later on what like in the internet when you talk about it is across the globe. Okay, so you have various you talk about a wide area network. You are talking about a communication across continents. Okay, so there are a number of devices which you will be having when you talk about a network. Key features of the network is why you are connecting these devices. So for providing certain services. So it may be transportation of your mail where you want to transfer actually information or data. Maybe you are using data can be in any form. Okay? You want shared resources. In the lab, you can have a printer which is connected in network. So you want to share the resources. The printer will be connected. There will be only one printer which will be available for number of different computer terminals. So it can be used by many users concurrently. The other key feature of the network is what it is a like you have basic building blocks. So these are the nodes. You have nodes and links. Nodes means you have the end devices which will process and transfer the data like your PCs, and links which will be carrying the data. Links will be connecting these two different nodes. It can be a multi-hop. See, there is a single hop network, there is a multi-hop network. Single hop network means what? Say for example, you are connecting your laptop with your mobile, or you are connecting two mobiles together, okay, through Bluetooth or something like that. So in that case, what is happening? Data is transferred from one end device to another end device. There is no intermediate, you can say repeater, or there is no intermediate device which is going to receive and transmit it to the next station. Okay, there is a direct single hop from one data from one device to another device. A multi-hop means what? There may be a case where these two end devices are not directly connected with each other. Okay, and they need some other nodes or entities to receive the data and transmit it as it is. Okay, something like when you are sending an email. Okay, the data is going from your PC to the central server. Say for example, I'm sending from the college. Now I'm talking from the college, so I'm in the college lab. Okay, so whatever data I'm like this screening of this particular presentation, or you are using this Google Meet. So I'm in the college lab. It will go to the college server. From college server it will go to through via network, it will go to somewhere your central server which is connected to your end device. You may be logging from you may be logged in from the computer, or you may be logged in from the mobile. Okay? So whichever is connecting to your end device. So there is a multi-hop network which is connected. So two endpoints are cannot directly connected every time. So you have a multi-hop network. What is the need for networking? Again, same thing, resource sharing through network, a data, a software, or a hardware. Sometimes you have some softwares which are installed in the server, and number of users are using it. So you are sharing number of resources irrespective of the physical location of the resources and the user. Nowadays, you have number of online platforms available. So you are sharing the resource. Reliability, a file can have its copies on two or more computers of the network. You have a reduced cost when you are sharing the resources. It is going to reduce the cost. So instead of having printer for every PC, you are having one printer which is connected to number of end devices. You have fast communication, information can be exchanged at a very fast speed. How the network was evolved. Okay, so the evolution of network is in 1969, US Department of Defense started ARPANET. ARPANET, the full form is Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. Okay, that is ARPANET. Its goal was to connect different universities and US defense. Okay, there were people who were using it. They used it for exchanging the information and playing the games. It expanded rapidly. Okay, in mid-80s, the National Science Foundation created a high-capacity network called as NSFNet. Now, uh, it it is allowing the academic use and private businesses. That means instead of having only restricted to the university and the defense sector, it it advanced to, or it found out various business applications for that. Okay, so it was expanded to private businesses also, and for academic use. So within universities it was again expanded. Many private companies built their own networks, which were later interconnected along with ARPANET and NSFNet to form the internet. At ARPANET, there were number of technical issues, something like when you are expanding the network, there are number of things. The technology should support that number of, you can say, end devices and number of applications. And if it is not able to support, or if it is not able to cope up with those application needs, it cannot run. Okay, so the ARPANET was shut down in 1990. Government funding for NSFNet discontinued in 1995, but commercial services came into the scenario, which are still running the internet. So now you are having all the commercial services. You can see there are various service providers, okay, commercial service providers which are providing the services of internet. There are a number of terms which are related to network, like we say nodes and server. These are the two terms which are very commonly used and which will be having, like every network will have these two terms. So you have workstation. Workstation is refers to the computer that is adhered to the network. So these are all the computers, you call it, or the end devices, you call it as a node. And the server is the master computer, which facilitates the sharing of data, software, and hardware. So basically, this is a server-based configuration. There can be different type of configuration. When you talk about a server-based configuration, you have one master computer server which is connected to different nodes. You can have a peer-to-peer combination. Peer-to-peer combination means what? You can have one node connected to another node directly, okay, where there is no server. So there are two types. One is a non-dedicated server, another is a dedicated server. In non-dedicated server, workstation doubles up as a server. So the workstation only will act as a server. There is a server means what? When you are having a dedicated server, it will be will be some resources. There is a computer will have more memory. The computer will have more features, and it will act as a server. Okay, it will be different from the nodes which are connected to it. Okay, so there is one computer which is reserved to do the server job. This is a faster. It becomes, the communication becomes faster. The data transfer becomes faster in case of dedicated server. And the networks using such server is called, you have a master slave configuration for that. When you have a non-dedicated server, the workstation only will act as a server. So it will be having that server capacity, the memory capacity which is required, or the features which are required by the server are more than the normal end device. So the workstation which is going to be used as a server will have more should have more capabilities. So the requirements will differ, and this combination will be slower. It will require more memory, and it is will be used in a small network. When you want to expand to a large network, generally you have these dedicated servers and number of slaves which are connected to this master server. When you have a non-dedicated server, it will become a small network. You cannot expand it to a large number of networks. It can be called as a peer-to-peer network. Now, how you're connecting these workstations with the servers, there is a network interface unit. Okay, generally you call it as a network interface card, or it is called as a terminal access point. So this will connect the end device or the workstation to the server or two workstations. and it will provide the communication. So it will have this NIC is having a unique identification number. Okay, and it will be a unique physical address. Now this card will have a unique address which we call it as a MAC address. Later on we will see the concept of MAC address. But right now there is a network interface card required for connecting devices, or for connecting your PC or the workstation to the server, and this is having a unique address, unique number, which is called as a MAC address. There are different types of networks. Am I audible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. If there is any problem of network issue, or you cannot see properly the presentation, you please inform me. Okay. Sometimes like in the flow, I'm just talking and I don't know whether the like I don't realize that the network has gone or something like that. So if any problem is there, you please inform. Okay? Yeah. So next is the like you have different types of networks. You have local area network, LAN, MAN, that is metropolitan area network, and WAN, which is wide area network. Can anybody tell me what is this LAN, MAN, WAN? What do you know about this?
Ma'am,
Yes.
LAN means local
Ma'am,
network,
local
like we
is our
use in
college
school,
network.
colleges.
Metropolitan is like Mira Road.
Yes. Right. So what is the data speed? Can you tell me the features? What is the geographical area which is covered? What is the data speed which it covers? Can anybody tell me?
Ma'am, 10 to 1000 Mbps
10
data
to
speed.
1000 Mbps for
For LAN, ma'am,
LAN.
local area net.
Okay. There are number of types of networks. Say, for example, local area network, which is in the lab itself. So the as the name is given, local. So it will be restricted to one organization or at the most one educational campus. Okay. We will be connected through local area network. You can have a peer-to-peer combination, peer-to-peer network. You have a metropolitan area network and you have a wide area network. Wide area network is across the globe. So local area network confined to a small area, uh, limited area like one lab, school, or a building. Okay. Now you will have a server in land. Like say for example, the college, an organization will have one server. The server is going to store all the software. So say for example, in our college, when you use MATLAB, in the MATLAB there is a MATLAB which is stored in a server with number of users. Whatever package you are buying, accordingly it will support number of users. So you have the softwares like MATLAB, there will be number of softwares you can use. So you can install those softwares which will be there in the network. There will be other network softwares which are used for controlling and which will be used for uh, communication across these networks. Okay, so you can have sharing, which will be like you have servers which will be which will connected to number of computers, and or you call it as workstations or nodes. Now, generally in labs, when you have LAN used, you have cables which are used to connect the network interface cards in each computer. Okay, generally, in lab, you have the uh, cables which you use for connecting the devices. MAN is it is spreading over an entire city. For example, your cable TV networks. You must have seen cable TVs, like that cable operator has having a very large antenna, and from that cable operator there are number of like through coaxial cables, there is a wire which is connecting various societies to your home. Okay, you are providing the cable TV. So that is the example of MAN. Okay. So again, sharing of the hardware and software resources, because you have a number of your cable operator is providing you with the internet. Okay, you have very many cable operators. You have Hatchway as one of the uh, example of the network provider. So there are number of such type of providers. That is a man. Okay, which is covering. Uh, just 1 minute. Sir, का? चालेल. Yeah. So there is a man which is covering the entire city. So example, you can remember it as a cable TV, or your TV operator is only providing cable operator is only providing you with the internet services. Okay, that is man. Next is WAN, which is larger geographical areas like across the countries, across the continents, and there the communication is through uh, dedicated transoceanic cabling, or it can be through satellite, and they will be connected through different public networks, like you have telephone lines, you have lease lines, or you have satellites. So internet is an example of WAN. Here we use this www. I have not included many points in the difference, but basically it's up to you. Like I'm giving this assignment to you that you have to find out the difference between LAN, MAN, and WAN. Okay, depending upon the geographical area. See here, it is like actually in this slide it is not written the entire, like the exact can say value. What is the value of LAN in meters? Okay, so what you have to do is you have to design a proper LAN man. It is very easy. It is available on net. It is available in various books. Okay, so the three differences you have to find out, and you have to make a note of it. Okay, the rate, the you can say the distance which it covers, the data speed, okay, through which it is connected. So here actually they have given the operation of the data transfer of several Mbps, and here it is less than 1 Mbps, but it is like the entire, mm, it is in gigabits. But when you come to individual user, okay, some the data rate is reduced. So I think in this slide this rate is not properly given. Okay, but others are okay. Like you have the land for few kilometers, uh, maybe for 10 kilometers maximum. Uh, WAN is across the countries. Then this LAN is it is belonging to one single organization. But WAN, you can see it is owned by multiple organizations because you are communicating across the countries. Your error rates are low, but here comparatively higher error rates are there. But this slide is not having many points for difference. What I will suggest is like this is assignment for you that you have to find out. It is very easy. You have to find out and you have to make a table for comparison of LAN, MAN, WAN, depending upon the distance covered, the data rates, the you can say here they have written in very low error rates, but the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, these points you have to cover. There are next topic is topologies. The topologies is how you are interconnecting the different nodes. There are different ways in which you can interconnect these nodes. Can anybody tell me what are the different ways? Anybody knows any topologies through which you can communicate, connect these networks or connect these nodes?
Star topology.
Star topology, bus topology.
Mesh.
Yes. Yes. Can anybody explain any one topology like yes, Vivek Dubey? What is star topology?
Ma'am, networks are connected in star pattern.
Means what? How communication will happen? Can you give some example? Okay. There are different types of topologies. You can have point-to-point connection, bus topology, star, ring, tree, mesh, or you have a hybrid topology. So first is point-to-point. We have already seen peer-to-peer communication. So peer-to-peer communication means one PC directly connected to another PC, okay, through cable. That is a point-to-point communication. In this topology, you have two. There is no server configuration. Okay? One PC directly connected to other PC. Okay? So point-to-point networks contain exactly two hosts, such as to computers or to switches or to routers. Servers connected back to back using single piece of cable. The receiving end of one host is connected to the sending end of the other. Vice versa. You have two hosts connected or two nodes connected directly. Then they can have multiple intermediate devices. Point to point doesn't mean it is a single hop. It may be multi-hop also, like two computers when they are at a distance apart. Okay? They can be connected through various intermediate devices. But the end host don't know how they are connected. Okay, underlying network, and you assume that you are connected directly, one-to-one communication. Okay? That is a point-to-point topology. Next is the bus topology. You can see over here there is a central line which is going, and to this central, you can say, uh, line or cable, you have multiple other PCs connected in a bus topology. So linear bus topology consists of main run of cable. This is the main run of cable, and with a terminator at each end. Here there are two terminators required. Okay, so this main run of the cable will have terminators at the end, and all nodes, these nodes will contain servers, workstations.
दो
Hello,
बोलेगा है ना 140 कितना बोलेगा 1240
hello,
है
hello. Okay, so here you require, or whatever, all the nodes you can see over here, there are different nodes like different workstations. There can be a server, there can be different peripherals, like over here you have different peripherals which are connected to this particular linear cable, and this each connected through different cables to this main run. The advantage is what? It is easy to connect. You want to connect new one, you can just add it. Okay, so it is easy to connect a computer or a peripheral to this particular central linear bus, and it requires less cabling. But the disadvantage is that suppose this main cable breaks, then what happens? The entire network goes down. You require terminators at the end. Okay. Now suppose the network goes down. It is very difficult. It becomes very, that is, troubleshooting is very difficult. Okay, if the network goes down, it is very difficult to identify where the exact problem lies. Okay, you have to. There are many junctions over here on the line. Okay, so it is very difficult to identify the problem. So troubleshooting is a problem in this particular case. If advantage is, suppose one goes down. Suppose this PC goes down. It is not going to affect the communication between this server and this PC, okay, or this node. But if this main line goes down, then the entire network goes down. Now each node is connected to, this is a central bus. So each node is connected to the central bus. So the nodes must be intelligent. It's not like dumb terminal connect nahi kar sakte hum file server se. Okay? You have they should have their own processing capabilities. Next is a star topology. Say, for example, in a lab, you want to communicate with multiple uh, nodes. So you have one central hub or switch, which is connecting different nodes. Okay, so this is the central, you can say, coordinator where you are having these number of nodes which are connected through this hub. There are various puts for this. So it is designed with each node. There is a file server or workstation or peripheral, which is connected directly to a central network hub or concentrator. Data on a star network passes through the hub or concentrator before continuing to its destination. We say, for example, this is A. Say, for example, this is A, B, C, D, E. Then when A wants to transfer data to B, it won't be directly going. It will be going through this hub only. Okay, so from this server, data will go to hub first, and from hub it will be decided what is the destination address, and accordingly it will be given. Yesterday somebody told the difference about hub and switch, that it just hub will just flood the entire network, which it doesn't see, it won't check the destination address. But when you're using switch, it will check the destination address, and accordingly it will forward it to that particular destination line only, that destination PC only. That difference and everything we will see later on. But this is basically, you have the data communication or the transfer is through this central hub only. Okay, and it is going to control all the functions, and it acts as a repeater for the data flow. Means whatever data is coming from this, say for example this PC wants to communicate with this PC, it will go through this hub only. So it is like it is going to receive the data and it is going to transmit it again. Okay, so it acts as a repeater. The advantage is it is easy to install, and it is easy to detect the faults, because say for example over here, if this PC is not this is not able to connect, then it is very easy to find out the troubleshooting is very easy compared to bus. There is no disruptions to the network when connecting or removing devices. In this, suppose you remove this particular device, it is not going to affect the entire network. Whatever are the maximum ports available, that many devices can be connected or disconnected. Okay, so it is very easy, and it is not disturbing any network when you are connecting or removing the device. It is very easy to install, easy to detect the faults. That is, troubleshooting is easy compared to other topologies. Disadvantage is what? Requires more cable length than the linear topology. Linear topology means the bus topology, where you are having short, there is one central line which is running to the entire network, and you just have to connect to that particular central network, a central line. But in this case, you have to connect to till that hub. Okay, so the cable length which is required is more. And if the hub fails, there is any problem in the hub, the entire nodes, whatever nodes are connected to that particular hub, all will be having they will be disabled. It is more expensive than the linear bus topology because of the cost of concentrators. You have to add the hub or switch. Okay, so the cost of switch is added or hub is added. Next is the ring topology. Now in this ring topology, it is like a closed loop. So A, B, C, D all are connected. Okay, it is like how the communication starts or how the communication happens is there is a token. Okay, called as a token ring. So you use a token to pass the data. Okay, now here it is like you have to design it either anti-clockwise or clockwise. So data will flow, say for example A, B, C, D, and if you have designed the flow that from A it will be given to B, from B to C, C to D, and D to A. This is way it is like in a clockwise direction you are transmitting data. Then even if A wants to transmit it to D, though they are directly connected, when you are having a clockwise connection, they will be transferring the data A, B, C, D only. There is no direct transmission from A to D. Okay. Now say for example, it's like a token ring. So a token which is having which will here, like there is a who will control the transmission of the data. So there is a token which is transmitted. Okay, so the token will give you the right to transmit. So the one who wants to, the node who wants to transmit data will, you can say it will accept the token, it will take the token, and that token will be marked as like you are using the token, and it will put that information. Now this token will be passed from one station to another station. Okay, so when the token is, say for example, A wants to transmit data, it will seize that particular token, it will mark it as it is being used, that is a BZ, and then it will be passed around the circle till the destination, and from that destination again it will be eventually returned to the sender. Okay, then the sender removes the attached message, that is along with that token the message or the data will be transmitted. So the destination node, what it will do, it will receive that particular data, and then after that, after it will remove that particular message from that token, then the token will be forwarded to the next node. The next node, if again if it wants to transmit the data, then it has to transfer the data along with the busy karna hai token ko, and then along with that token it will pass the data. Okay, something like that. So this is how ring topology works. But the advantage of ring topology is short length, cable length, because star के जैसे इसमें central coordinator कुछ नहीं है. No wiring closet space required. It is suitable for optical fibers, high speed traffic travels in only one direction only. The disadvantage is what? Suppose one node fails. Say for example, in this network, A is going to transmit, but B fails. It cannot communicate with C and D. Because if the one node fails, the entire network goes down. Okay, so and it is very difficult to diagnose the fault. Network reconfiguration is difficult. Adding of the new node is easy, but once the node goes down or one node is having any problem, the entire network will go down. Okay, and it is for reconfiguration, it is not possible that you just shut down a part of it. Okay, you just have to entirely, the shutdown has to be for the entire network, so it is very difficult. And sometimes what happens is in this ring topology, to overcome this problem, there is a it is a dual ring. Dual ring topology means what? You have two cables connected, one in clockwise and one in anti-clockwise. So this will have, it will increase the cost. It will increase the cost of cabling. Complexity will increase. But suppose one anti-clockwise link fails, okay, then the clockwise link will be active and the network won't fail. Okay, the network will be active only. It will switch from anti-clockwise direction to the clockwise direction. That is, it will switch the cables. That is a dual ring topology. So this can be also done to overcome the disadvantages. Next is the tree topology. Now in tree topology, you can see it combines the characteristics of a bus and a star. So here there are a number of hubs which are connected. Okay, in a tree-like structure, you have main server, and to this server you have number of different switches or different hubs which are connected, and to this hub you are having number of nodes which are connected. So it consists of a group of star configured workstations and which are connected to a linear bus backbone. So maybe this is the main line which is going, say for example in your college when you are having different LANs which are connected in different labs. So in one lab you will have one hub. To this hub there are number of PCs connected. In another lab you have one hub which is connected to different nodes, and these two hubs are connected to a central server. So that is a tree topology. So you can easily add, the advantage is you can easily add one node over here, okay, at the hub. Whatever is the maximum capacity, that many nodes can be connected or removed. It is not going to affect the entire network. And suppose this node fails, it is not going to affect the entire network. Okay? So expansion of the existing network is easy. Okay? And you can configure the network to meet the needs of the user. The advantage is point-to-point wiring for individual segments. It can be supported by several hardware and software vendors. Disadvantage is overall length. of the cabling, okay, overall length of the segment is restricted by the type of cabling which is used. Okay, so at what distance it you can have, how many such type of hubs can be connected at what distances. And if the central server to that main line, that is a bus line, if it fails, then the entire network goes down. It is more difficult to configure and wire than other topologies. Now, how to select which topology you want to use? Now, before that, we'll just see mesh topology. Mesh topology is, it is like each computer or each node is connected to every other node in the network. And as you can see, there are number of cables. There are multiple cables. In ring, you were having only this thing. If it was star, it was connected through this only. But in mesh, every node in the network is connected to every other node in the network. So there is a peer-to-peer, there is a directly point-to-point communication between two nodes. Even if one node fails, it is not going to affect other nodes. It is not going to bring the network down. Okay, and if this particular cable fails, or if it breaks, communication between these two only will be breaking. Other entire network will be as it is. Okay, so in this type of topology, you are having the host which is connected to multiple hosts, and between these two you can have point to point communication. Okay, uh, it can be full mesh or partial mesh. In full mesh, you have all the hosts which are having a point to point communication or connection to every other host. So you require, suppose there are n hosts, then you require n into n minus 1 by 2. That many connections are required. So to every new host n, you require n minus 1 by 2. So here in this diagram, you can see that there are 5 nodes. You require 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 connections for every node. It provides the most reliable network structure among all network topologies. Partial node mesh what? No, all hosts don't have a point-to-point communication to other host. Hosts connect to each other in some arbitrarily fashion, and this topology exists when we need to provide reliability to some host out of all. Hybrid means what? It is like you are having a ring topology over here, and this is having a star topology. So it is a mixture of different topologies, whichever is you need. Okay, you can combine two topologies. So network structure whose design contain more than one topology is called as a hybrid topology. And it inherits merits and demerits of all the incorporating topologies. Suppose you are connecting star and ring, then it will have merits and demerits of both star and ring. Okay, and it may contain attributes of star. It will contain merits and demerits both of that particular all the topologies. So when you say WANs, most WANs are connected by the means of dual ring. Dual ring we have just discussed, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Both the rings are present. So you have the WANs which are connected through dual ring topology, and the networks which are connected to those, say for example, different hubs, and the server which you are connecting through dual ring topology. And the network to each this this one hub, you have a network which is connected in a star fashion. Okay, so internet is a best example of the largest hybrid topology. So how to decide which particular topology you want to use? Depending upon what is your requirement, whether you want to save on the money. Okay, so a linear bus topology may be the least expensive way to install the network. Okay. If you want the area restriction of the area is there, then you will have to decide what is the length of the cable which is needed. So the linear topology or linear bus topology, it is using shortest length of cable. So if you want to cut down the cables, you will be using bus topology. If you want to grow, you know that your network is going to grow further. You know that you will be expanding the organization, and you will require more such type of networks to connect together. Then it is better to go for star topology, because expansion, adding another concentrators, adding another nodes is very easy or feasible in case of star topology. So if you know that your entire network is going to grow large in future, the star topology should be collected. What is a cable type? Okay, so cable types we will later on we will see different mediums. So you have unshielded twisted pair, which is the most common used with star topologies. Now, before going to the network models, okay, I am going to continue the next lecture also. So I'll just give you a 2 minutes break. Okay, if you want, we will have 2 minutes break, or shall we continue? What should be done? You tell me.
Ma'am, break.
Ma'am,
Break,
break.
break off 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay, break of 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I will start with multi-layer network models. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Shall we resume? Okay. We won't have that
Yes.
break.
Hello, ma'am.
Instead of that, we'll leave.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. We had a doubt, ma'am.
Yes, Pucho.
Ma'am, you will conduct lecture till 12:40 or till 12:20?
I will conduct till 12:20. And
Okay,
whatever
ma'am. Thank.
topic I want to complete ना, अगर मेरा
Yes,
वो
ma'am.
पहले हो जाता है, तो we can leave. I can leave you after 12 also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So shall we start now? Yes. Okay. Yes. So I am having some network issue. I think क्योंकि मुझे ऐसे मैसेज आ रहा है बार बार नेटवर्क कनेक्शन लॉस्ट. इन केस इफ कुछ हो जाता है ना, तो व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज कर देना अगर नेटवर्क कनेक्शन जाता है तो. ओके. Okay. Now, basically, when you talk about architecture, what is an architecture? When you talk about network architecture, what is network architecture?
Layout of the network.
Layout of the network means, say, for example, uh, how the data is transmitted from transmitter to receiver. Okay. So, what all different intermediate nodes will be there? What is the function? What functions are required when, say, for example, whenever your data is transmitted through PC, okay, you have a digital to analog conversion. Maybe when you are having a, say, for example, you are transmitting through telephone lines, you are using telephone lines, and you have to transfer, you have to make the changes of the data. That is, the data has to be converted. There is a conversion of data required. There is a, if it is not single hop, it is a multi hop. So you need number of devices in between, interconnecting devices, which will receive the data and again process that data and transmit it towards the destination. So there are number of things, there are number of functions which are required. Okay. So all this, like, there are number of applications. So all this is the collection of all the interconnected networks, all the interconnected devices, all the end devices, all the host. Okay. You talk, you call it as an internetwork, and internetwork, or you call it as a internet. And when, say for example, you have to uh, organize these functions in a uh, you have to organize these functions. Who is going to do which particular job? One device cannot do all the things. Okay, when if it is doing all the things, then also that function has to be divided into some modules. Okay, and there should be some rules which should be followed for doing all this processing. So there are number of things, like you have set of protocols. Okay, so different rules will be there. So the process of transferring a message between a sender and a receiver is implemented by breaking it down into simple components. Okay, so you have to divide the functionality is divided into different layers. Okay, so instead of having one entire device or one single layer which will do all the functioning, this functionality is divided into different group of layers, and each layer is given some task to complete. So the entire function is analyzed, and it is divided into different modules. And these modules, like these modular functions, are given to each layer. Okay, so you require a layered approach. Why you require a multi-layer approach is to reduce the complexity. When you define the every layer is having some function, it is easy for troubleshooting also. When you know certain, say for example, आपका नेटवर्क अगर कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, तो what is the problem? First you start with that cabling. अगर आपका केबल ठीक से कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, आपको ऐसा मैसेज मिल रहा है कि your like connection is not proper. So it is very easy to identify the point at which the network error has occurred. Okay, that network error lies. So troubleshooting is very easy, and when you divide this functionality, it is the complexity is reduced. Okay, so generally a multi-layered approach is used, and you assume that you are having, say for example, this entire functionality. You have two different models, two different network models are there. One is a OSI model, which is having 7 layers, and other is a TCP/IP model, which is having, in some books you will find 5 layers, some books you will find 4 layers, so 4 or 5 layers. Okay, so each layer will have some functionality. Say for example, we are assuming that there are number of layers, like down layer, the bottom layer is the physical layer. So that physical layer, or the top layer, if we talk about top layer, the user end, it is displayed as a application layer. So you are communicating as www to https dot www, like something like that. So the user is communicating at application layer. You don't know what is lying down, how the data is transmitted. The user is not aware, the end user is not aware of all these layered technologies. Okay, so what he is assuming that his application layer from one PC is communicating with application layer of another PC. So it is host to host transmission. Okay, you are assuming that this HTTP is communicating with other HTTPS of the receiver. So there are certain rules which has to be followed for both the ends. So that is a set of protocols. So protocol is generally you are having it as a peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer means application layer to application layer. You have uh, transport layer communicating with transport layer. So there are certain transport layer protocols. So protocol is peer-to-peer layer, and you have an interface between two different layers. Means when your data is transmitted from application layer to down till down physical layer, it is transmitted through different interfaces, and it is following different protocols. These all terms come into it together when you talk about a network architecture, when you talk about a network model. Okay? So there are certain, like you have software as well as hardware. So the each pair of adjacent layer will have interface, and the peer-to-peer layer on transmitter and receiver end will have a protocol. Okay, so this is a set of layers and protocols together is called as a network architecture. Okay, so when you are specifying any architecture, it has to contain the information about how the this entire hardware, how the hardware will be built for each layer. Say for example, when you talk about the data link layer, in data link layer, the devices we will see later on, interconnecting devices. So interconnecting devices कौन से हैं? You have switch, hub. All these devices work at different layers. जैसे राउटर है तो राउटर वर्क करेगा नेटवर्क लेयर पे. यू हैव स्विच और हब, वो वर्क करेगा डेटा लिंक लेयर पे. तो डिफरेंट लेयर्स आर हैविंग डिफरेंट functionalities, and accordingly there are different interconnecting devices which work for that, which function for that particular layer. So this entire set of layers plus different protocols which are working at that particular layer. जैसे HTTPS है तो application layer पे work होगा, TCP है तो transport layer पे work होगा, IP है तो network layer पे work होगा. So each layer is having different set of rules, different protocols. So this entire set of rules, set of layers and these protocols is called as a network architecture. So you have two different models. One is OSI model and another is a TCP/IP model. Now how these data networks are built? That is bridging the gap between what applications expect. That you want to reliable transfer of data, you want the response time to be or latency to be very, response time to be high and latency to be low. So that means it should be faster. You require the availability of the network, you want security of the network. There are various technologies which are used for connecting these computers or the devices. Okay. So for building of a data networks, you require number of things. So architecture principles. What is a network architecture? It is not the implementation of the network itself. It is the design blueprint on how to organize implementations. That is, it will design the interfaces. Interfaces, just now we said, interface is between adjacent layers. So it has to define what different layers are supporting. So what interfaces are supported, where functionality is implemented, that is the layers, where in which layer what functionality is implemented. So two internet architectural principles, one is layering and another is end-to-end arguments. Layering is how to break network functionality into modules, and end-to-end arguments is where to implement that functionality. So what should be the function of, say for example, you have divided it into 7 layers. So you have decided how to break the network functionality in 7 modules. Which particular layer will perform which particular function? That has to be the end-to-end arguments. You have to refer to the protocols. What should be the how to implement that particular functionality. So layering is a particular form of modularization. System is broken into vertical hierarchy where you have different layers of logically distinct entities, that is layers. Each layer use abstractions to hide complexity, and it can have alternative abstractions at each layer. So basically layering is from top to bottom. You have different layers. So it is a vertical hierarchy, and every layer use abstraction. Abstraction means hiding the details from the underlying layers. That means you don't, the functions of, say for example, the end user, the application layer, you don't know what are the functions transport layer is doing as an end user. See, if when you are engineer, you're learning telecommunication technology, you know what are the functions. But when you are an end user, suppose an end user sitting at a terminal anywhere in other office, it need not be, everybody need not be a technical person. So he doesn't know what is the actual functioning of all these layers. He may not be knowing there is a layering architecture. So it is the, each layer should hide that complexity and it should have a abstraction. Otherwise every application layer पे अगर इतना सारा चीजें complexity आ गई तो it is not the जो ease है use का, so using of various softwares or various applications, वो ease चला जाएगा. So it has to abstract, it has to hide the complexity. That is a function of each layer. Okay, so layering में ये care लिया जाता है कि you are hiding the complex details of the underlying layers. Say this is a logical versus physical communication. So here same way, this is the host, that is this is for example transmitter है, ये receiver है, these are the layers. So ये vertical hierarchy हो गई, this is the different layers are there, this application is communicating with this application. So logically you are talking about peer to peer network, ये protocols है, ये एप्लीकेशन लेयर टॉकिंग विद दिस एप्लीकेशन लेयर. आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप जो मेल सेंड कर रहे हो, ये यहाँ से आपका ये जीमेल यहाँ पे ट्रांसमिट कर रहा है और यहाँ पे जीमेल रिसीव कर रहा है. दिस इज द अंडरलाइंग कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, हाउ द डेटा इज एक्चुअली ट्रांसमिटिंग. दिस इज द फिजिकल कम्युनिकेशन पाथ, दिस इज द लॉजिकल कम्युनिकेशन पाथ. तो ये जो है वो प्रोटोकॉल्स हो गए एंड ये जो है वो लेयर्स एंड इंटरफेस हो गया. ठीक है, तो फिजिकली एक्चुअली द डेटा इज ट्रांसमिटिंग टिल दिस नेटवर्क इंटरफेस कार्ड तक आएगा, आपके data link layer तक आएगा, switches and hubs and routers, and then it will be transmitted. So this is underlying complexity. Okay? Which layer, 5 layer 5 layer 4 layer 3 layer 2 क्या क्या function कर रहे हैं, ये end user को मालूम होना जरूरी नहीं है. Okay, so this is hiding of the complexity or abstraction. तो ये logical layer है, logical communication है कि this application communicating with this application. But physically क्या हो रहा है, physically ये data transmission हो रहा है. Actually this is the way the data is transmitted. Okay, and this is the logical communication. So network stack in this OSI layer, which is a 7-layer reference model, it was designed by this working group of ISO is that is International Standards Organization. It was founded it was in 1983. Defines 7 layers, that is how applications communicate with each other via network aware devices, that is described through these 7 layers. Now whatever most day-to-day protocols we are using, okay, that were designed, that is OSI is the basic model on which the entire network was built, and then there were the protocols which were defined, and then afterwards there was some like technological for compatibility, it shifted to TCP/IP. We'll see later on what is the difference, what was the need for TCP/IP, that we'll see later on. Okay, so right now we'll go with this OSI model with 7 layers. So OSI is Open Systems Interconnection model. ISO is we have just seen this International Standards Organization, ISO, and OSI is Open System Interconnection. It is based on a common model of network architecture and suite of protocols which are used in its implementation. This has established OSI as a reference model. Each layer deals with a particular aspect of network communication. So it is primarily software and protocol architecture. Every layer of model correspond to layer of abstraction. Each layer has a well-defined function. Layers chosen so that international standards can be defined. Boundaries between layers are chosen to minimize information flow across interfaces. So we know these are the adjacent layers, vertical hierarchy, where you are minimizing the information flow across the interfaces. Number of layers. See, what should be the number of layers? It has to be designed like they should be large enough so that distinct functions need not be thrown together, and small enough so that architecture does not become unwieldy. That means the complexity has to be reduced, and you want simpler simplicity also. The functions also should be whatever number of functions should be done together, they have to be done together. Again, you cannot divide them. Okay, so distinct functions need not be thrown together, and जो अलग-अलग functions है उसको अलग-अलग ही perform होना है. So you can have given them to the different layers. So they should be large enough and small enough. So services, what a layer does, what is the function of that particular layer, that is a service. Service interface is how to access the services given by other layers, okay, which is going to define the interface for the above layer. Means application layer is going to have the functions or the services provided by the below layer, that is transport layer. Transport layer is going to utilize the services provided by the below layer, that is the network layer. So the interface is defining for every layer. So every layer above layer को वो क्या functions, क्या services देगा. And peer interface, it is a protocol. We have seen peer to peer, application to application, there is a protocol. So how the peers communicate? The protocol is what? It is a set of rules and formats that govern the communication between two network boxes. Okay, so if you see over here, this is just a repetition. Application to application, this is a protocol. And services between individual layers or adjacent layers. So layer 4 is going to provide services to layer 5. 3 is going to provide services to layer 4. Something like that. So there is an interface defined between these adjacent layers, and there are protocols which are defined between these peer-to-peer layers. Okay. So peer-to-peer interface, protocols, how peers communicate, a set of rules and formats that govern the communication between two network boxes. Protocol does not govern the implementation on a single machine, but how the layer is implemented between machines. So it is between transmitter and receiver. So is this clear? So this is a OSI layer model. In OSI, you have 7 layers. The topmost, starting from the topmost, so this is a transmitter, this is a receiver. How the data is transmitted, data will be transmitted through this, and then through this, it will again go back till application layer. So the topmost layer is application layer. Below application, there is a presentation. After presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical. Same way over here on this other side also, topmost will be application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical. ओके एंड ये नेटवर्क लेयर तक ही, ये जो है ये सब आपके खुद के पीसी में ही है, आप खुद के डिवाइस में ही है. व्हेन यू कम टू नेटवर्क, ओके, it will leave your PC and it will go enter, your data will enter into the network itself. In network, you have network, data link layer, physical layer. Physically, actual transmission of the data from the physical medium. And then at the receiver end, again, it will be network, data link, and physical layer. So these are the 7 layers of the OSI reference model. So again, protocols, specifications or implementation of a service or functionality. Each protocol object defines two different interfaces: service interface and peer-to-peer interface. So this is a service interface, this between two different layers, and this is a peer-to-peer interface. So service interface is operations on this machine only. ये machine पे ही higher level और lower level को connect करने के लिए interface define करेगा. तो operations on the same machine. And peer-to-peer interface, messages exchange with peer. तो peer-to-peer means transmitter और receiver के बीच में जो interface रहेगा, that is a peer-to-peer interface. So protocols will be having the functionality. It has to define these two interfaces. Now there are 7 layers. Lower 3 layers are implemented everywhere. So this is like the actual network. And next 4 layers are implemented only at host. मतलब ये host है, ये आपका transmitter है, ये आपका PC है. तो ये आपके PC पे ये 4 layers रहेंगे. And this is through network. Sorry. At physical layer, you are actually having the physical medium. Okay, so first we'll start with the bottom one, layer 1, physical layer. What is the functionality of this physical layer? It will define the physical and electrical characteristics of the network. Transmission of raw bits over the communication channel, and defines bit abstraction. Means how the data is transmitted. We know that PC पे वो digital में रहेगा. Digital में मतलब कौन से form में रहेगा? 0101 में रहेगा. And at the transmission medium कौन सा रह सकता है? You can have twisted pair, you can have optical fiber, you can have coaxial cables. So जो digital data है उसको आपको convert करना है either in the electrical signal format or you have to convert it into the optical format, तो light format में. whatever medium you are using. तो physical layer में क्या होगा, it is the medium or it is the layer which is going to define the physical and electrical characteristics of the network. तो जो रॉ बिट्स है, बिट्स कैसे ट्रांसमिट होंगे, अगर इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल में कन्वर्ट करना है तो दैट वन विल बी ट्रांसमिटेड एज अ हाई इन द हाई वोल्टेज इन द इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल. अगर जीरो है तो उसको कैसे ट्रांसमिट करना है. तो ये सब जो डिसीजन है, हाउ द फिजिकल एंड इलेक्ट्रिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ द नेटवर्क आर डिफाइंड, दैट इज डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द फंक्शनैलिटी ऑफ द फिजिकल लेयर. तो कम्युनिकेशन लेयर पे कैसे चैनल पे कैसे ट्रांसमिट होगा, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मॉड्यूलेशन टेक्निक विल बी यूज्ड, okay, what kind of conversion is done, this entire decision is for the is taken by the physical layer. Next is the layer 2, which is the data link layer. Now data link layer पे generally you talk in terms of frames. Okay, तो जो डेटा आएगा एप्लीकेशन लेयर से, या फिर से फॉर एग्जांपल रिसीवर में जो डेटा रिसीव होगा, रिसीव्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ जीरोज एंड वंस, वो जीरोज और वंस को थोड़ा कंबाइन करके इट विल मेक अ फ्रेम, एंड दोस फ्रेम्स विल बी हैंडल्ड बाय दिस डेटा लिंक लेयर. Okay, it will take the raw transmission facility and transform it into an abstract link that appears free of errors to layer 3. क्योंकि उसको क्या करना है, it defines framing. वो फ्रेम्स क्यों बना रहा है, यहाँ से उसको 0101 जो है उसको कंबाइन करके उसको एक इट हैज टू डिफाइन द बाउंड्रीज, उसको थोड़ा डेटा कलेक्ट करना है, एंड उसको वो फ्रेम्स को एट नेटवर्क लेयर यू टॉक इन टर्म्स ऑफ पैकेट्स. तो उसको लेयर को फ्रेम्स बनाना है, फ्रेम्स से उसको पैकेट में ट्रांसफर करना है. ओके, तो ये जो है डेटा लिंक लेयर विल टॉक इन टर्म्स ऑफ फ्रेम्स. तो जब भी ट्रांसमिशन हो रहा है तो एप्लीकेशन लेयर से जो डेटा आ रहा है, नेटवर्क से जो पैकेट्स आ रहे हैं, उसको फ्रेम्स में कन्वर्ट करना है. फिजिकल लेयर इज गोइंग टू डिवाइड और अगेन ब्रेक दैट फ्रेम इनटू जीरोज एंड वंस, एंड रिसीवर एंड पे जो जीरोज एंड वंस कलेक्ट हो रहे हैं वो डेटा लिंक लेयर पे वापस फ्रेम बन जाएंगे. इट हैज टू चेक फॉर द एरर्स. तो नंबर ऑफ एरर करेक्टिंग कोडिंग स्कीम्स आर अप्लाइड. जैसे आपने हैमिंग कोड सुना होगा, तो हैमिंग कोड है, पैरिटी बिट्स है. दिस एंटायर थिंग इज डन एट डेटा लिंक लेयर. इट हैज टू कंट्रोल द रेट ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन. मतलब एप्लीकेशन लेयर से तो बहुत सारा डेटा आ रहा है, लेकिन यहाँ पे 0101 ही ट्रांसमिट हो रहा है. तो इट हैज टू रेगुलेट द स्पीड. जो डेटा आ रहा है, या फिर एकदम बस्ट ऑफ डेटा अगर फिजिकल लेयर में आया, नंबर ऑफ जीरोज एंड वंस टुगेदर, तो उसको नेटवर्क लेयर में जब पैकेट बना के भेजना है, उसको रेट को कंट्रोल करना है, फ्लो रेट. ओके, सो दैट द डेटा इज नॉट लॉस्ट. Okay, so slow devices not overrun by high speed device. जैसे सर्वर से डेटा आ रहा है तो सर्वर का स्पीड और नॉर्मल अपना जो टर्मिनल रहेगा उसका स्पीड इज डिफरेंट. Okay, speed of transmission processing is different, so data should not be lost, so it has to control the rate. We'll see later on how it is providing buffers, how is providing queues. एंड जो डेटा आ रहा है उसको अगर से फॉर एग्जांपल एप्लीकेशन लेयर पे आके आपको पता चला कि वो डेटा में बहुत सारे एरर्स है, ओके, द डेटा इन बिटवीन डेटा इज लॉस्ट, तो एरर कंट्रोल जो है वो डेटा लिंक लेयर पे भी इम्प्लीमेंट होता है. तो अगर यहाँ पे एरर मिला तो देयर इज अ सर्टेन एक्नॉलेजमेंट्स आर सेंट टू द फ्रॉम द रिसीवर टू द ट्रांसमीटर कि अगर एरर डेटा में एरर वहीं पे मिला तो वहीं से वो डेटा लिंक लेयर से एप्लीकेशन लेयर तक जाएगा ही नहीं, वो वहीं के वहीं उसको एरर इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी ट्रांसमीटर को, डेटा जो है वो वापस ट्रांसमिट हो जाएगा. तो इट इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज द स्पीड, इट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प इन फाइंडिंग द एरर. ओके, सो ये सब फंक्शनैलिटी है डेटा लिंक लेयर की. वी आर गोइंग टू सी ईच लेयर इन डिटेल. आपको हर एक चैप्टर है, हर एक मॉड्यूल है, हर एक लेयर पे. ओके, राइट नाउ वी आर जस्ट सीइंग द ओवरव्यू. सो लेयर 2 का बेसिक फंक्शन है फ्रेमिंग, collecting data from the physical layer and transmitting it to the packets at the receiver end. वैसे ही ट्रांसमीटर एंड पे नेटवर्क लेयर से पैकेट्स लेने हैं, वो पैकेट्स को फ्रेम्स में कन्वर्ट करना है और वो फ्रेम्स को फिजिकल लेयर में ट्रांसमिट करना है, एरर्स को चेक करना है और जो फ्लो कंट्रोल है, जो रेट ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन है, उसको आपको कंट्रोल करना है. समथिंग लाइक अ टैप, जो जो अपना नल का टैप रहता है, प्रेशर से पानी आता है, लेकिन टैप में उसको कंट्रोल है. whenever you are opening that tap, whatever is the amount allowed, only that much water will flow through the tap. Okay, and you have a control. So वैसे आपको फ्लो कंट्रोल करना है डेटा लिंक लेयर पे. Layer 3, network layer. Again, it is controlling the operation of the subnet, how the packets will be transmitted. ठीक है, जैसे पैकेट्स विल बी लाइक, हम लोग जैसे बोल रहे कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड सर्विसेज है, यस्टरडे वी हैड डिस्कस्ड. कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड सर्विसेज हो सकती है या कनेक्शन लेस सर्विसेज हो सकती है. कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड मतलब हमने देखा था जैसे ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ लाइक ऑन टेलीफोन, तो कनेक्शन एस्टैब्लिश होगा, फिर डेटा ट्रांसमिट होगा, फिर जब भी डेटा ट्रांसमिशन खत्म होना है तो हम लिंक को टर्मिनेट कर देते हैं. और दूसरा टाइप है जो डेटाग्राम, मतलब जैसे अपने पोस्टल सर्विसेज है, तो लेटर सिर्फ हम सेंड करते हैं, इरिस्पेक्टिव अगर एक ही जगह पे 4 लेटर भी भेजे तो 4 लेटर नॉट नेसेसरी विल गो टुगेदर. आपने 4 अलग अलग पोस्ट कर दिए, वो अलग अलग रूट से चले जाएंगे. उसका डिलीवरी, एक लेटर पहुंचा, अगर लेटर 1 पहुंचता है तो ही लेटर 2 पहुंचेगा, ऐसा नहीं है. अगर लेटर 2 मिसप्लेस हो जाता है फिर भी लेटर 2 तो पहुंचेगा ही. तो irrespective of the other data that individually they will be transmitted. लेकिन अगर आपका टेलीफोन लाइन है, अगर बीच में ब्रेक हो जाता है तो entire data is lost, क्योंकि कनेक्शन ही ये हो गया, लॉस्ट हो गया. तो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ सर्विसेज यू आर यूजिंग, तो हाउ द पैकेट्स आर राउटेड, कौन से रूट पे उसको जाना है, ये डिसाइड कौन करेगा? नेटवर्क लेयर डिसाइड करेगा. नेटवर्क लेयर पे जैसे राउटर रहते हैं, यू हैव अ राउटर डिवाइस व्हिच इज इंस्टॉल्ड और व्हिच इज डूइंग दिस फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द नेटवर्क लेयर. कंजेशन कंट्रोल करना है. कंजेशन कंट्रोल मतलब again same way, when number of packets are existing in the network, you have to assure that no packets are lost, they are all routed properly to the destination and received properly by the destination. कंजेशन का मतलब है फॉर एग्जांपल ट्रैफिक जैम. जब भी बहुत सारा लाइक पीक आवर्स जो रहते हैं, जैसे नेटवर्क का आप देख लो, इफ यू सर्फ एट नाइट 12 o'clock 1 o'clock, because number of users are less, data transmission is less, you have higher speed. लेकिन वही अगर आप डे टाइम में पीक आवर्स में, पीक ऑफिस आवर्स में अगर आप ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ डेटा कर रहे हो, यू आर यूजिंग इंटरनेट, जो स्पीड जो है वो कम हो जाता है. क्यों? बिकॉज नंबर ऑफ यूजर्स आर मोर, द डेटा, द पैकेट्स विच आर एग्जिस्टिंग इन द सेम नेटवर्क आर मोर. जैसे अपने अगर आप ट्रैफिक का देख लो, जो रोड हाईवेज जो है वो पीक आवर्स पे आपको ज्यादा ऑक्यूपाइड मिलेंगे, बिकॉज नंबर ऑफ ट्रैवलर्स आर मोर, नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स आर मोर ऑन द रोड. तो जो लेन रात को 2 बजे आप जाओगे तो खाली मिलेगी, कैपेसिटी रोड का उतना ही है. अगर नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स बढ़ जाते हैं तो कंजेशन होगा. कैपेसिटी ऑफ रोड हम लोग एक्सपांड और चेंज नहीं कर सकते, वो एक बार बिल्ड हो गया तो बिल्ड हो गया. तो नेटवर्क आर्किटेक्चर का वैसे एक बार आपने वो जो लिंक फाइबर ऑप्टिक डाल दी, लिंक डाल दी, कोई कनेक्शन कर दिया, तो उसका जो ट्रांसमिशन रेट है वो वही रहेगा. लेकिन जब भी पीक आवर्स आते हैं तो नंबर ऑफ पैकेट्स एग्जिस्टिंग विल बी मोर, और जब भी लेस ट्रैफिक आवर्स आते हैं तो पैकेट जो है वो फास्ट ट्रांसमिट हो सकता है. तो कंजेशन कंट्रोल करना है नेटवर्क लेयर पे. दैट इज अ ड्यूटी ऑफ राउटर, दैट इवन इफ there is a congestion, it has to find alternative routes. तो number of algorithms are there for congestion control. तो ये सब functionality किसकी है? नेटवर्क लेयर की है. Accounting function, that is billing. Okay, so network statistics, how much is the usage of that particular network. तो जैसे आपने जितना नेटवर्क यूज किया है, कंजम्पशन ऑफ योर नेटवर्क यूसेज, वो जो बिलिंग है वो सब चीजें अकाउंटिंग जो है वो नेटवर्क लेयर पे होती है. Okay, so example is IP, your internet protocol, IPv4 या IPv6 है. In TCP/IP layer we will see it is this network layer is only called as IP layer, internet protocol layer. Okay, here in OSI model you call it as a network layer. Next is the fourth layer 4, that is transport layer. In transport layer it is accepting the data from the above layers, that is higher layers. हियर देयर इज अ फर्स्ट ब्रेकिंग ऑफ द डेटा, मतलब एप्लीकेशन लेयर से जो डेटा आएगा वो फर्स्ट ब्रेक होगा, उसको बोलेंगे ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रोटोकॉल डेटा यूनिट, दैट इज TPDU। जैसे यहाँ पे पैकेट्स बोलते हैं, यहाँ पे फ्रेम बोलते हैं, यहाँ पे रॉ बिट्स होता है, ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर पे इट इज TPDU, दैट इज ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रोटोकॉल डेटा यूनिट। So first splitting of the data from the application layer will be happening at this particular transport layer, at the transmitter end. So it will accept the data from the higher layers, split it up into the smaller units, which can be passed through the network layer. It will ensure that the packets all arrive correctly at the destination in the right order. मतलब जैसे मैंने बोला 4 लेटर्स अगर आपने भेजे हैं, चारों लेटर्स अलग अलग रूट होंगे, तो 1 पहले पहुंचेगा, उसके बाद 4 पहुंच सकता है, उसके बाद 2 पहुंच सकता है, उसके बाद 3 पहुंच सकता है, इन एनी ऑर्डर। तो वो ऑर्डरिंग ऑफ द डेटा शुड बी डन और विल बी डन बाय द ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर। पैकेट्स कैसे भी अराइव हो, उसको प्रॉपरली राइट ऑर्डर में अरेंज करके उसको भेजना है। सो यहाँ पे रिलायबल और अनरिलायबल डिलीवरी होती है, कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड और कनेक्शन लेस। कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड रिलायबल है, कनेक्शन लेस जो है वो अनरिलायबल है। इट इज ट्रू एंड टू एंड लेयर, क्योंकि ये एक्चुअली आपके होस्ट में है, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट योर होस्ट राइट नाउ, इट्स नॉट इन द नेटवर्क, होस्ट पे। तो इस पे TCP और UDP दो प्रोटोकॉल्स यूज होते हैं। TCP इज द कनेक्शन ओरिएंटेड विच इज रिलायबल, and UDP is the connectionless, which is unreliable. TCP is transmission control protocol, UDP is user datagram protocol. It defines the connection abstraction, मतलब it hides the details of the underlying complexity. उसको पता नहीं होता है, लेकिन it will hide the complexity. User से वो define user को abstract करेगा, वो hide करेगा details कि how network layer is implemented. We'll see this entire thing again in detail. It also, its transport function, transport layer के function similar to the data link layer है. It will also handle the errors. Next is the layer 5, which is a session layer. It allows users to on different machines to establish sessions between them. जैसे आप लोग cookies, session cookies की बात करते हो, whenever you are on the internet, there are some cookies which are exchanged. तो ये जो cookies है ना, ये session layer पे आती है। मतलब आपका जो सेशन मेंटेन्ड है, से फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे अभी मैं मीट पे आपसे बात कर रही हूँ, इन बिटवीन माय कनेक्शन इज लॉस्ट, ओके, कनेक्शन लॉस्ट हो जाता है, फिर जब भी मैं रिज्यूम होती हूँ, मुझे कुछ करना नहीं पड़ता, अगेन आई डोंट हैव टू लॉग इन फॉर सर्टेन टाइम। वो जो सेशन मेंटेन्ड है बिटवीन टू नोड्स, ट्रांसमीटर एंड रिसीवर, वो सेशन जो है वो मेंटेन रहता है, उसके लिए सेशन मैनेजमेंट होता है। So there are different cookies which are transmitted. So अगर सेक्शन, अगर कोई भी कनेक्शन लॉस भी हो जाता है, या आप फाइल ट्रांसफर कर रहे हो, योर फाइल इज ऑफ 1 MB, उसमें से आधी फाइल ट्रांसमिट हो चुकी है एंड आपका इंटरनेट कनेक्शन गया, तो नॉट नेसेसरीली एवरी टाइम इट हैज टू रीट्रांसमिट दैट फर्स्ट से हाफ जो 512 बाइट्स उसके गए हैं, 512 किलोबाइट्स जो गए हैं, वो उसको रीट्रांसमिट नहीं करने पड़ेंगे। द सेशन विल रीगेन and it will transfer the remaining 512 KB. Okay, मतलब session management जो होता है, it will have some cookies and it will make sure that the sessions between two different users is maintained. Presentation layer is checking of the it will check the data representation. Data representation, it will check the syntax, the semantics. Syntax means the rules which are followed and semantics means the grammar. अगर आपने google.com के बदले आपने कहीं पे भी स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक कर दी, तो आपको आता है ना did you mean so and so, वो कनेक्ट नहीं होगा। वो आपको गूगल का स्पेलिंग अगर आपने GOO के बदले GO डाला, तो वो कनेक्ट नहीं करेगा गूगल से। इट विल गिव यू द वो सर्च देगा कि did you mean GOOGLE, अगर आप वहां पे क्लिक करते हो वो लिंक भी देगा, अगर क्लिक करते हो तो वो दिस इज एंटायर थिंग हैंडल्ड बाय द ब्राउजर। ये प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर जो है दैट विल चेक द सिंटैक्स एंड द सिमेंटिक्स। अगर आपने गलत किया है, स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक किया है कुछ, तो उसका सिमेंटिक्स चेक करेगा। अगर आपने google.com के बदले में आपने com.google लिखा, तो वो चेक करेगा, वो सिंटैक्स एंड सिमेंटिक्स दोनों चेक करेगा। ठीक है, तो इट विल हैंडल द क्रिप्टोग्राफी, इट विल हैंडल द ऑथेंटिकेशन। तो encoding of the data will be happening at this particular presentation layer. ठीक है, मतलब आपका जीमेल एड्रेस आपने बराबर लिखा है क्या, उसको आपने जैसे .com gmail.com है तो आपने gmail.com ही लिखा है या आपने com.gmail लिखा है, तो वो भी वो चेक करेगा एंड जीमेल का स्पेलिंग भी चेक करेगा. तो सिंटैक्स एंड सिमेंटिक्स आर चेक्ड एट द प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर. तो वो आपका आगे डेटा जाएगा ही नहीं, वो प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर पे स्टॉप हो जाएगा एंड वहीं पे वो आपको करेक्शन देगा. एंड एप्लीकेशन लेयर इज द एक्चुअल यूजर, इट इज अ यूजर लेयर प्रोटोकॉल. Like your HTTP, FTP, SMTP, there are number of protocols which are used, and application layer is at the user end. जो आपका various browsers which you are using, आप Google Chrome यूज कर रहे हो या आप Internet Explorer यूज कर रहे हो, so that is at the application layer. Okay. So data encapsulation in OSI, this is say for example transmitter, this is the receiver. तो ये डेटा जो है ट्रांसमिट कैसे होगा, एप्लीकेशन लेयर से प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर, सेशन लेयर, ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर, नेटवर्क, डेटा लिंक, फिजिकल. एंड फिजिकल लेयर से बिट्स ट्रांसमिट होंगे, ये फिजिकल लेयर से, यहाँ से डेटा अप जाएगा. दिस इज अ फ्रेम. सो एवरी फ्रेम, यहाँ से डेटा जो है वो यहाँ पे एप्लीकेशन लेयर पे उसका हेडर और फुटर लगेगा. दिस इज द एप्लीकेशन लेयर. देन दिस इज द प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर. देन फिर ये सेशन लेयर होता है, उसके कुकीज ऐड हो जाएंगे, सेशन मैनेजमेंट होगी. ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर इज द फर्स्ट वेयर यू हैव डेटा स्प्लिट. तो ये जो डेटा है इसको टीपीडीयू, नंबर ऑफ डेटा यूनिट्स में, जैसे 1 MB है तो 1 MB को डिवाइड करेगा वो 512 KB 512 KB के 2 यूनिट्स में डिवाइड कर दिया. फिर जो नेटवर्क आएगा उसमें पैकेट्स बनेंगे. सपोज वो नेटवर्क 256 KB का पैकेट ही सपोर्ट करता है, तो वो 512 KB का जो टीपीडीयू है उसको डिवाइड करेगा वो 256 KB के पैकेट्स में. मतलब आपका 1 MB का जो डेटा है वो 4 256 KB पैकेट्स में डिवाइड हो जाएगा. जैसे कभी आप पिंग करते हो, इफ आई डोंट नो वेदर यू हैव यूज्ड दैट पिंग कमांड और नॉट, तो जब पिंग करते हो तो नंबर ऑफ पैकेट्स रिसीव्ड और मतलब ट्रांसमिटेड एंड रिसीव्ड का डेटा वो आपको देगा. तो कितने पैकेट्स ट्रांसमिट हुए, कितने पैकेट्स रिसीव हुए. तो आपका जो एंटायर 1 MB का फाइल है दैट विल बी डिवाइडेड इनटू हाउ मेनी पैकेट्स, दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन नेटवर्क लेयर पे कितना पैकेट साइज सपोर्ट होता है. दैट इज हैंडल्ड बाय दिस. तो ये पैकेट हो गया. फिर डेटा लिंक लेयर पे फ्रेम्स हो जाते हैं एंड देन बाय बिट डेटा जो है वो फिजिकल लेयर पे ट्रांसमिट हो जाता है. सो देयर आर डिफरेंट, दीज आर द प्रोटोकॉल्स, डिफरेंट प्रोटोकॉल्स. ये यूजर एंड है, यहाँ से ये एक्चुअल फिजिकल कम्युनिकेशन है फिजिकल मीडियम से, एंड दिस इज थ्रू डिफरेंट प्रोटोकॉल्स. सो ये जो है वो peer-to-peer communication. So data communication based on OSI is going to happen like this. Okay. I think I should stop over here before going like this message transmission. ये हमने पहले ही देखा है. Is this slide clear? ये slide clear है क्या?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you can see this is application layer पे ये जो आपका डेटा है ये डिवाइड हो रहा है. TCP HTTP, मतलब HTTP है, उस पर ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर का TCP लगेगा. फिर इनपुट नेटवर्क लेयर में IP लगेगा. फिर डेटा लिंक लेयर पे ईथरनेट यूज होगा एंड देन फिजिकल लेयर पे वो बिट बाय बिट ट्रांसमिट होगा. सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज ट्रांसमिटेड. सो दिस इज द मैसेज ट्रांसमिशन यूजिंग डिफरेंट लेयर्स. और यहाँ पे हर एक लेयर अपना अपना प्रोटोकॉल, अपना अपना हेडर और फुटर जो ऐड किया है वो रिमूव करती जाएगी. तो डेटा लिंक लेयर पे ये ईथरनेट रिमूव होगा और ये IP जो है वो ट्रांसमिट होगा. फिर नेटवर्क लेयर IP को रिमूव कर देगी और ये TCP वाला जो पार्ट है वो ऊपर ट्रांसमिट होगा. फिर नेट ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर TCP रिमूव कर देगी और जो HTTP जो रिक्वेस्ट भेजी है वो जो डेटा है आपका वो एप्लीकेशन लेयर पे उसके फॉर्मेट में डेटा चला जाएगा. तो हर एक लेयर ट्रांसमिशन के टाइम पे अपना अपना हेडर एंड फुटर ऐड करती जाएगी एंड रिसीवर के टाइम पे हर एक अपना अपना डेटा जो है हेडर एंड फुटर जो है वो रिमूव करती जाएगी. We will see shortcoming and TCP/IP tomorrow. Is there any doubt in the OSI model? Have you understood?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
ठीक है. तो ये अभी तक का इतना पार्ट तो मतलब जस्ट वी हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड विद द OSI मॉडल एंड आई हैव जस्ट गिवन यू द ब्रीफ आइडिया अबाउट द फंक्शनिंग. You will have each layer in detail, each protocol in detail. That will be your next modules. ठीक है. So shall we stop over here? TCP/IP next lecture में लेना, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है वो बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. अभी इतना फंक्शनैलिटी ठीक है. Okay.
Yes,
So I'll
ma'am.
stop over here.
Can you upload this PPT classroom?
After completion, ये पूरा PPT मेरा complete हो जाना तो TCP/IP का, then I will upload this. पहले
Ma'am, but we have to revise today.
okay, मैं upload कर दूंगी इसको.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll just check the attendance. Just 1 minute. I will just take the roll numbers. I have marked for the first lecture. Second lecture में अगर कोई add हो गया है तो मुझे बोल देना. 3, 4, roll number 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 18, 20, 22,
Ma'am, 14 is also added.
14. You have joined
Yeah,
in the
ma'am.
next lecture.
Miss roll number 10 also.
नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में ज्वाइन हो गए आप, थर्ड लेक्चर में ज्वाइन हुए हैं.
Ma'am, I'm roll number 13 now.
नहीं मैं बोल रही हूँ 10,
Miss roll number 10 also.
10 and 14.
14.
से बोला ना अभी 10 and 14. Have you joined in the second lecture? ओके
No,
ठीक है,
ma'am.
मैं आपके इन टाइम पे देख लूंगी. अच्छा 10 भी है, 10 तो है ना, 10 का तो मैंने बोला. 14 is also there. ओके फोर्टीन, उसके बाद कौन है? 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. उसके बाद 32, 33, 34, 31. आप कभी ज्वाइन हुए?
मैम दोनों लेक्चर में था मैं.
दोनों लेक्चर में थे. ओके
मैम वो बीच में कट हो गया था मैम, नेटवर्क इशू.
ओके ओके. सो 34 तक है. देन 36, 37, 38. देन 41, 43, 44, 46, 47, 48.
Present, ma'am.
मैम 45.
45 भी है.
हाँ
ज्वाइन हो गए आप?
मैम, पहले लेक्चर में था, फिर बीच में कट हुआ था, फिर सेकंड लेक्चर भी कंटिन्यू किया मैंने.
ओके ठीक है. मुझे वैसे भी तो मीट लिंक के अटेंडेंस में टाइमिंग तो मिलेगा.
हाँ
लेकिन
यस.
जब मैंने बीच में मैंने जब भी चेक किया तो मुझे इतने जितने मिले उनका मैंने अटेंडेंस डाल दिया था. ओके ठीक है. 48 तक हो गया. बीच में 45 डाला है मैंने आपका अटेंडेंस. देन नेक्स्ट इज 51, 51, 54. हाँ 54 के बाद 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Then 63, 68. Anybody else? जिसका अटेंडेंस मैंने कॉल नहीं किया है, ऐसा कोई है?
मैम रोल नंबर 22.
22 तो बोला मैंने.
मैम 7.
मैम 54.
एक मिनट, ऐसे इंडिविजुअल